Death coming only playable and free, or would I have considered paying at a discount or full price? Well, let's find out. So what is Death Coming? Well, basically you start off dying, and are welcomed by the Reaper who wants you to become their assistant. In return, you will be resurrected, but now basically since you accept, you have a duty to go around reaping people. However, it is not that easy. You can't control people or make direct contact, but you can manipulate environment around them to put them in a position of danger. So once they get close enough to the danger, you make a small thing move and boom, they die. So basically, everyone has extremely bad luck because of you. Your goal is to kill a certain amount of people in the given level to move on to the next one. There are also 3 specific people in each level, though I don't know what purpose they serve since I didn't fully kill all of them, so there might be another ending, I just don't know. Who you have to kill as well. Oh, by the way, while you're doing this, angels will come and try to stop you, which makes the levels a bit harder in each way. So basically, complete all the minimal goals and join Earth once again. And the game is basically a puzzle game where you have to learn the patterns of the humans to cause the most genocide. Great! So what did I end up liking about this game? As dark as the game seems, there's a lot of lightheartedness to it. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and overall it's more cartoony than bloody and gross. The isometric overhead view makes you feel like you are dead watching from above. Like in a god in a sense, but without that much power. There is also no order of playing the levels, which is nice because you could play them as you want. Though there are some parts which were linear, those linear paths were all separate from each other and it's nice to have this freedom. The level themes are cute and inspired, like how the entire last level is completely inspired from Indiana Jones. And the bonus level is inspired from the office of the creators themselves, which is super neat. Kinda reminds me of Game Freak being in Pokemon. Some of the deaths are also super creative, like combining chemicals to create a gas which will surround people and kill them. Also, you can use bait to lure sharks in, which will come to shore and take out some prey. Those are only 2 examples, I'm not going to go into many more because you might want to play the game yourself. There are also a lot of chain reactions, like I said with the linear paths, where you have to do one thing which will lead to another, which will lead to another, which will lead to a lot of deaths. Which is neat. And overall, the dark theme of the game, there is a good message to share, which is basically, don't take life too seriously. You know, it can end at any point, so live it while you can, and live it fruitfully. Which I like a lot, and I think it's a good message to share. And I don't know why they chose this way to share it, but they did. So, let's move on to the bad. So, not always, but sometimes if you miss something or mess something up, you have to restart the whole level. Like for instance, there's this whole level with a blizzard. And if you don't complete all the things that you have to do in the beginning before the 3 minutes where the blizzard strikes, after the blizzard, you can't do those things. So you would have to restart the level to then do those things, which I find very annoying. The game requires a lot of patience and can be a bit tedious to make everything work. So you could just be sitting there watching for hours to make sure everything works. And when the angels show up, it adds a more randomness to this factor, so it's not as easily patterned, and now you're just waiting even longer to make sure that angels aren't there to stop you either. And honestly, I just don't enjoy that kind of gameplay. Also, at the end of the day, there's a lot of repetitive deaths. Like maybe 75% of the deaths were just dropping things on people, and it gets kind of annoying after a while and boring too, because you're just doing the same thing over and over again and not really figuring out a new puzzle and way to kill people. There is also an entirely offline ranking system / a pointless score, because even though you have this online ranking system, it's offline. Like I can't see anyone else's score except for mine. I didn't know how to connect to the internet to figure it out, but I just saw my score, so I didn't know what I'm competing with. Also, I'm not sure why there's a ranking system anyways, because there's definitely a limit to how many points you can get. So once you get to that point limit, you're just going to reach, I don't know. And the last thing is the isometric view. It makes it way too hard sometimes to tell if contact will be made. Because there were so many times where like, oh, this will work. And then it was like, no, it was not close enough. I'm like, oh, but you know, it still looked like it went through them. Like, why didn't that work? So I didn't know if it was the glitch or if it's just because of the angle. I thought it would, but it didn't actually. And that really was kind of obnoxious sometimes, which I didn't enjoy either. So what are my final thoughts? Well, Death Coming is a dark but lighthearted game that isn't for everyone. While I do like the visuals, idea, and message of the game, I don't believe the gameplay holds up to the rest of it. The levels are fun designed, but I just can't get over the tediousness of it all. I don't believe sitting there for a right time to click on an object is exciting enough even if the result is something of interest. And if you miss, well, that's it. Now, I do believe if you like this type of game, it will be perfect for you. I, however, am not that person. So, would I have paid the full price of $7 for this game? Or is it worth discounted or only free? Well, I don't think this game was a complete waste of time, but even with the already low $7, I don't think I would pay that. So, discounted it is. I want to take a quick thank you to everyone who has watched to this point. I recently opened up a Buy Me a Coffee, so if you'd like to become a member or even just donate, the support is always appreciated. If not, watching the videos allows for it itself.